What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Girona in La Liga. Football is back, the real football, club football, after the second international break of the season. You tend to miss Barcelona, but then you realize we lost our last two games for the international break, thinking, oh god, we want to see us back with all these injuries that we suffered during the international break. But the love for the club is always bigger than everything. We are back to seeing our football club play, and we are back to what is needed, and that is winning games. We are 1 week away from El Clasico, and this is a match in preparation and in build-up for that huge clash. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 4:15 p.m. local time, so we do have another early kickoff yet again. 4:15 against Sevilla and 4:15 against Girona, and the players don't really like that, alongside the manager as well. It is, against the curve a little bit, but nonetheless, though, we do have the early kickoff this weekend, and this match will be taking place at the Luis Campos Stadium in Montjuic. Some good news in regards to returning to the Camp Nou. We have received the license to return to the Phase 1A, which is 27,000 capacity. We can go back to the Camp Nou tomorrow, but the club want to wait till we get to 45, which is of course matching the capacity of the Montjuic, and then go back. So we're probably going to go back hopefully after the next international break, but pretty much all our games from now until the November international break will be at the Montjuic in terms of home games: Olympiacos, Girona, Elche, and other ones that are not on the top of my head. But Montjuic next international break, Camp Nou return is getting closer. We can go back right now with 27,000 capacity, but the club are going to be holding off until we reach 45,000 capacity license. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona are currently sat in second place in La Liga on 19 points. After playing 8 matches, we have 6 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. We are currently 2 points behind Real Madrid, who are top of La Liga on 21 points. After playing 8 games, they have 7 wins and 1 loss. So of course we do have that 1 extra draw in there, which came against Rayo Vallecano in the second or third game of the season. Again, we kind of effed it against Sevilla, but it makes it for a more interesting El Clasico, of course. So win this game, and El Clasico will be, in reach of a win, going top of the table. If we look at Real Madrid and the other top teams who they'll be facing this weekend, Atletico Madrid will be hosting Osasuna, and Real Madrid will be traveling down the road to play Getafe. Now, Getafe we tend to struggle against, but Madrid tend to absolutely, steamroll them, so I don't expect anything less. I think we play early tomorrow morning, then they play later on in the afternoon. So we'll wait and see what happens. Of course, this is the last match in La Liga before the El Clasico, so this will give some indications into what team will go into the lead and who can go top and stuff like that, with the El Clasico win going in their favor. But yes, despite the loss against Sevilla, kind of a big blow following the PSG loss, we are still well in this league title race, only 2 points behind the leaders, with so much games to play, 30 matches left, so can't call it quits quite yet. We're still in the dogfight, and some people would rather be the chasers than being the chasees, so we'll wait and see how Barcelona do react. But this league is far from over, and the El Clasico coming up will have some huge indications. If you take a look at our opponents in Girona and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 18th place in La Liga on 6 points. After playing 8 matches, they have 1 win, 3 draws, and 4 losses. If you look at the last 5 games in the league, they are undefeated in the last 3 games with 2 draws and a win, but they've had a very, very poor start to the season. Look at these 3 top teams in the relegation zone: Girona, who were in Champions League football last season; Sociedad, who have a fantastic team and dominating, Europe and being in Europe. Then you have Mallorca as well, who done very well last season, all sat in the relegation zone, which is crazy. But our opponents tomorrow are also in that space, and they're only 1 or 2 points off the relegation zone, but they're still down there nonetheless, which shows their form and their start and how poor it has been. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Girona. Of course, Girona is a Catalunya derby, another Catalan club. And like I mentioned so far this season, they are very, very poor overall, but they have picked up some form in their last few games, as opposed to us, who we don't have form in our last few games. And the last time we faced them was actually at Luis Campos Stadium in Montjuic, an emphatic 4-1 victory. I remember this because this was on Eid, if I'm not mistaken. I think Barcelona went 1-0 up, then Juma equalized to make it 1-1. Then I think Fermin and Lewis scored to make it 4-1. So it was a bit bumpy. There was barely no cushion. I think we had a very poor first half. We scored just before halftime from some deflected own goal free kick. Then we went 1-1, and then we kind of got the scoring done. So it took us a while to get into the game. We were winning for about 15 minutes, and then we were at level playing field for an extra few minutes, so it wasn't as easy as the scoreline does suggest. Now, if you take a look at their last 6 matches in all competition, in their last match they beat Valencia 2-1, they drew 0-0 in another Catalunya derby against Espanyol, drawing 1-1 with Athletic Club, losing to Levante 4-0, tie with 1-1 with Celta Vigo, and losing 2-0 to Sevilla. Getting pumped by Levante 4-0 is absolutely crazy. But again, last 3 matches, undefeated. Starting off firstly, 1-1 draw at SMMS, which I would definitely take as a Barcelona fan. Quite even a fair. But now that their deadline day few summer signings are getting more and more integrated, they are looking a bit better. Of course, Onahi was a player that was linked with Barcelona after the last 2022 World Cup. He's now on loan, I think, from Marseille to Girona, and he's had a fantastic start there. A very, very even game, which required a lot of defensive work from Girona, but they kept the defensive strong. They, looked alright in the midfield, and also Athletic Club were quite, poor on the evening as well. And a 1-1 draw, a point for Girona, was an absolute miracle, and one that they will absolutely take. Next up is their 0-0 draw in the Catalunya derby. Again, you're probably looking at 2 teams here at a very, very similar level right now. I do think that Girona do have better players on paper, but then again, I think this is a game where Girona were on top. They defended well. They won the midfield battle. This in the final third, they just could not finish their dinner. That was pretty much the story. And then pumping. Espanyol, to their minor credit, defended well, but it was quite comfortable. 90 minutes for Girona. They had a few chances being leaked behind them as well, which Gazaniga had dealt well with. He's kind of picked up form after Girona signed Lovakovic, after Gazaniga had a very, very poor opening 2 matches with a few own goals. I think he got a red card as well, maybe. But overall, a good game from Girona, apart from the final third, to put it lightly. And their final match in all competition was their first win of the season, a 2-1 win against Valencia. Of course, Ivan Martin, one of their better players, they get a second yellow in this game and will be suspended for the Barcelona match. Again, this is their first win, and this is again more so of the opposite of the Espanyol game, where their midfield and defense wasn't as concrete as you would like, but the final third, their attack was firing, and Gazaniga in goal had yet another solid display, keeping them in the game with a few big saves. I remember making this big save after I think Juma scored, and he made another big save right after that, so he kept his team in the game. And also Girona, finishing their chances as well. They didn't have too many. Arnau Martinez, the captain, getting on the score sheet, and their first for the season coming up right before an international break. Will that stop momentum? Will that give them confidence to train during the international break? Who knows? Only time will tell. But it was, a deserved win. Valencia weren't really at the races, and Girona finally finishing their chances and getting their first win of the season. So overall, final thoughts on Girona. They're a good team when they're at it, and when they're not at it, they're shite. They're very well managed by their manager, Michel, who is of course linked with the Barcelona job when, Xavi got got sacked, and then Flick came in, brought them to European football, brought them to the UCL, then they've fallen off a cliff ever since. It's still a team that has, that can be dangerous, and he's still a very, very good manager, but losing 4-0 to Levante, I mean, bloody hell. In terms of players to go out for, of course, you have, Dele Britton, you have Victor Reyes on loan from Man City, Axel Witsel joining from Atletico Madrid as a free agent, Arnau Martinez, who a lot of Barcelona fans wanted a few years ago, Porto, Alex Moreno joining from Aston Villa, of course, Paulo Gazaniga as well. You have Onahi as well, who just joined recently as well. It's a very, very good team. They have some good players, some dangerous veterans, some experienced players in their prime. prime as well. They just have not been at the races as a collective unit this season, especially with their poor start to the season. But this team in a derby against Barcelona can definitely cause us some serious threats. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates ahead of this match for Barcelona. Firstly, on Ferran Torres, the club did just announce that he is ruled out for this match specifically. They said that Ferran Torres will miss the match against Girona as a precaution due to discomfort resulting from a strain in his hamstring muscle in his left thigh that he experienced during the international break. Now, he did not train. The plan was for him to come back from Spain and say, oh, he can play against Girona, but he didn't train this morning, and that gave us a big indication. But the club, they confirmed he will only miss Girona. We'll wait to see what happens for Olympiacos and El Clasico coming up, but it's not looking good, bruv. Another big blow. Some positive news in regards to injury is on Raphinha. According to Fernando Polo from Deportivo, Raphinha underwent a controlled MRI scan yesterday, and the results were positive. He has chances to be available for El Clasico. He could even be included in the squad for the Olympiacos match on Tuesday, but due to his explosive style, caution is being advised. The plan is to reserve him for Real Madrid match starting on the bench. So he's not going to start against Madrid. I mean, so what the hell is the point? But he should be back in about a week or so with Rafa. So, well, I mean, we'll wait and see. But this team is looking absolutely cooked in regards to injury. Nobody is fit. We have half a fit team, half our starting lineup. You know, our best players are out. I mean, only one man can put us through this, and it's not Flick. It's God. Let's now get into the press conference reaction of Hansi Flick, who of course spoke this early afternoon in Catalonia, giving us some updates on the club. Of course, firstly mentioning about the injuries, that he's disappointed, and it happens in football with all the international breaks, specifically mentioning Lewandowski, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres. He was saying with Lewandowski as well that he knows his body very well. People are saying that, oh, he played with a bandage and he, you know, aggravated his injury, but he said that Lewandowski told him, like, completely honest, I felt nothing. It came after the game, after we did the MRI scans and stuff like that. He was asked about the rumor this morning. There were some rumors this morning about apparently Lamine Yamal was late for the activation session against PSG. Flick was not going to start Lamine, and the Deco came in and forced Flick to start Lamine Yamal for this game. And Flick said, and I quote, "This is bullshit." He called it a lie, said it's embarrassing that this lie comes out, that I have nothing to hide. I'll say what I think and I'll say how I feel, and this is bullshit. I have a fantastic relationship with Deco. This didn't happen. That's great. He also confirmed that Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez will be fit to play tomorrow, but cannot play the full 90 minutes. We'll wait and see if one, both, or neither of them start. He's of course gave some praise about Frankie de Jong's renewal. Spoke about Raphinha as well. He said that for me, Raphinha is one of the best players in the world and the most important player for this team, and we hope to have him fit for El Clasico, so he won't be there tomorrow. Maybe hope he can make that squad list against Olympiacos. Talking about as well Lamine, about what he does on his off days, about partying and going out with his, you know, girlfriend and stuff like that. He said, look, I don't care. On the pitch, in training, behind the scenes, he is 100% one of the best professionals we have in the squad. When he has a few days off, he can do as he wishes. I don't care what he does, and that's great for the manager to hear as well. You're gonna have a lot of people, you know, coming at him and stuff like that, and good to have some defense there. Spoke as well about Frankie de Jong's role, about Frankie de Jong playing too many games lately, but we're gonna manage it well, and Pedri hasn't had much rest either, but he said that Frankie has played more than Pedri, but he has had some rest, which is a, you know, a big good and bit better to manage, so to speak. But Flick looked, not, I'm not saying he looked, you know, worried or anything like that, but he looked a bit cautious in this press conference. I feel like he talked about, of course, Girona as well, and look, they of course have not done well this season so far, but we cannot underestimate them, and it's gonna be difficult to, you know, get a result. And, you know, we just come off the back of the Sevilla loss, so we have to go out there and get a result. Talk about defending as well, so that when we defend, it involves everyone. Not everyone. Everyone has to give 100%. You cannot give 5% here, 95% over here. It has to be everybody, 1,000% collective as a unit. Then it was after the Villarreal game in the USA. Like, look, I don't make that decision. We're gonna go and play wherever they tell us to play, and that was pretty much it. And then the big one there, of course, was dropping the bullshit line for the Lamine Yamal rumors, confirming as well that Lamine and Fermin can't play tomorrow, just not play 90 minutes. So we got some good updates there. He still has confidence in this team, but the injuries are just, you know, taking a toll not only on himself, but us as Barca fans as well. But that concluded Hansi Flick's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Girona tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Hansi Flick. I'm going to try my best to predict this lineup. I think it will be fairly straightforward to predict because we have so many goddamn injuries, but there are some key decisions in which Flick will have to make that I'm not quite sure about. Now, this, of course, a line I think he will go with on the screen right now. I do want to first clear it up. Yes, Ferran Torres is out. He is injured. I think what will happen now is that he will play Marcus Rashford as a striker, bring Alejandro Balde as a left winger, and bring Gerard Martin at left back with Szczesny in goal, Eric Garcia at right back, Araujo and Kounde in the middle, midfield three of Casado, Pedri, and Fermin, and Rooney Bargi being the other winger. We're at a point now where it's slim pickings. I think he'll make maybe, I don't think he'll start Frankie just because Frankie's played 2 huge matches for the Dutch national team. Pedro just likes to play games. If you don't play him, he gets injured. That's why he's playing. Of course, Casado and Eric Garcia, fully fresh from the international break. I think he will prioritize starting them alongside Araujo as well. So we could maybe see Araujo, Eric in the middle with Kounde at right back. So it's going to be coming down to who he wants to start, either Kounde or Kounde. And I think he will go with Kounde, which of course will lead to Eric Garcia going to right back. I think, Szczesny, Eric, Araujo, Balde, Casado, Rooney are probably 6 guarantees. Rashford as well. Fermin Lopez is still waiting for his medical clearance. We haven't even gotten it yet. Hopefully we'll get it tomorrow. If there's no Fermin Lopez, then he has to look at the B team at this point. You have to put either Tony Fernandez in, you have to put in Dro potentially, because at that point there's nobody else in the first team to go in there. If Fermin Lopez is not going to be fit for this game, only 3 midfielders in the first team are Pedri, Casado, and Frankie. So you could maybe put Pedri in the 10 just to play all 3 of them, but why play all 3 of them? That's not, the best way forward. Excited to see Rooney in this game. He's gonna have a big role. Hopefully he can do something for us. I am expecting Lamine to be on the bench, so we could see him maybe come on for 10-15 minutes or so, but this for me is gonna be the line that I think Flick was left for this match. Again, do not forget, it's Rashford up front, Alejandro Balde at left wing, and then Gerard Martin at left back. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Flick will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from Flick's lineup prediction. I have gone with this lineup on the screen right now with Szczesny in goal, a back four of Eric Garcia, Araujo, Christensen, and Alejandro Balde, a midfield 3 of Pedri, Casado, and Dro Fernandez, front 3 of Rooney Bargi, Marcus Rashford, and Tony Fernandez. So in that back 5, I would keep it. I would keep Balde at left back. He needs to get some minutes in left back. I don't really want to see him at left wing. You're probably wondering, oh, you were saying in the Flick lineup is either between Kounde or Kounde. For me, I'm chucking Christensen. I think Christensen had an exceptional international break. This guy is unbelievable. He needs to be given chances, man. I think him and the defense with Kounde, both at their peak of their prowess, can do some damage, and then have either Eric or Kounde at right backs. I would go with, Christensen. He's played a lot of times with Araujo. I think that partnership can be comfortable. I went with Eric Garcia at right back to give Kounde some rest from the international break. Pedri has to play. Casado for me has to play because he's been, off the whole international break. And I have to go with Dro. I wouldn't risk it with Fermin. We have a big game coming up against Olympiacos and Madrid. Those are the priority for me ahead of this match, so I would not risk him. I think it's a good game for Dro as well. Rooney off the right. I would go with Tony off the left. I'd rather see Tony Fernandez at left wing than Gerard Martin at left back. That's my mentality. Then, of course, Marcus Rashford leading the line. This lineup looks absolutely dead, but it's all we've got at this point. I think this is definitely the best lineup we can feel in terms of balance, in terms of resting players as well, keeping an eye on, the 2 games coming up. This for me is the best 11, the best combination, and this lineup that I would go with in this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you're going to pick my lineup or Flick's lineup. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I'll go with the narrow 2-1 Barcelona win. You're probably thinking, Barca boys, you're in a relegation zone. They're crap, and we're Barca. What are you smoking? This team is dead, boys. It's dead. We have like 9 players out injured. We're coming off the back of an international break. The only thing that brings me confidence is that we're playing at home against an early kickoff as well. This has all the signs of a tight, narrow win for Barcelona. I can see this game, Barcelona going 1-0 up, Girona bring it back 1-1, then we nick it 2-1, or we go up 1-0, 2-0, they pull it back, give us a little bit of a scares. I think the guarantee that will happen in this game, apart from maybe both teams scoring, is that I think we will concede. Szczesny does not fill me too much with confidence as well. He keeps on glazing João Garcia to the point where I'm thinking this guy just does not want to be here. He's here just for vibes. But I'm not nervous in the fact that I think Girona will, pick up 3 points. I'm nervous in the fact that Girona can pick up a point in this game. That is how close I believe the affair is, not because of quality, but in terms of Barcelona's morale, momentum, and team coming into this game as well. But I think we will win in the end with perseverance and confidence and talent as well. Again, the narrow 2-1 victory for Barcelona. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the scoreline will be. So that was a match preview for Barcelona versus Girona in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing I want, firstly, of course, is your score prediction. And secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you either pick my lineup or Flick's lineup? What do you think Flick will go with? What would you go with if you're the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow after the match by my match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. Nothing but the 3 points. Take care and forza Barca.